Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot. Oh my. It's just another night for Supernatural Girls. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Here's your host, paranormal researcher Patricia Baker, on the one, the only Supernatural Girls.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Supernatural Girls. I am your host, Patricia Baker, here with my co-host, Miss PK, Patricia Kirkman. How are you tonight?
Absolutely delighted to be here.
Oh, good.
Great, best, beautiful partner here. What could I ask for?
Got it all.
That's
Got
right.
everything going on, that's for sure. Yes. Yeah, we have Dawn. Astrologer Dawn is with us tonight. She's fabulous. She is here to answer your questions, give you some guidance, so feel free to call in. The phone line is 855-472-5483. That is 855-472-5483. And we'll do our best to take all your calls and get your questions answered. But first, PK, what's going on with the numbers? You got anything to share?
Well, this is a 1 month. It's all about fresh starts and new beginnings. But we're ready to go into a retrograde, which just never makes anybody happy because it ends up being a lot of chaotic. But this being a 1, it's about fresh ideas, fresh ways of handling things. And it's kind of like a teaser before the beginning of the year, because the year we're going into, January, will become a 1 month for us also. So we're going to get a chance to kind of test the waters right now, see what may feel like it's working. And if it doesn't, push it aside right now, get it over with, so that when January gets here, you've already got your good things lined up of what you want to do. We're getting ready for a retrograde, but I'll let Dawn talk about that.
I know it.
They
Last one was
always get me in
terrible.
trouble.
Yeah, last one was vicious.
Oh, I got a feeling this one might be vicious equally so.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not.
They seem to be using me for the pinata.
Me too. Last time it was terrible.
Oh,
gosh.
But we've got so many nice things that we're going to hear, I'm sure, from Dawn with our people calling in. But I think, one of the nicest things that I could think about is that the 9 year that's coming up will give us the opportunity to eliminate people, places, and things that no longer fit in our world. So we've got time to take a look at what we really want to deal with, what we don't want to deal with anymore. And so that we're ready to jump right off the first of the year, the new year, we're ready to go. So we have time right now with the retrograde coming. We're going to review, redo, and come December, start making some real good choices. Because at that point in time, our sensitive way of looking at things is going to take over. So we have a lot of ideas, but alleviate what no longer works for us. That's the most important.
Right. It makes so much sense. It really does, always, to get rid of the things you've been hanging on to way too long.
Yeah, and I've just decided that starting the new year, I'm going to probably, if those that are interested will let me know, I will start having a class or two next year on numerology. Yeah.
Great.
The Lord came down, smacked me in the head, said, "Why not?" And I said, "Okay."
Why not? Go for it. Good.
What the heck?
And you'll have that information on your website, patriciacurkman.com. And we also have your website and your email listed on supernaturalgirls.com. So you can find PK either way. And I also want to ask people to please give us a like and follow on our YouTube channel, because we are broadcasting live every week through our YouTube channel. And so you can get notifications. Just make sure that you sign up as one of our subscribers. And please check in on all our other social media. We are on TikTok. We're going to be doing more content there. And we're on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter also. So please follow us on all of those. Yes, PK.
And I wanted to ask you, what is the stone we were talking about that has?
Phenakite.
Okay. I wanted you to, because I marked it down. I wanted to talk about it. And I thought, no, I'll let you talk about it.
Oh, well, it's an incredibly powerful stone. In fact, I'm wearing it right now. And it is
pretty.
Looks like a crystal. Mm-hmm. It can be faceted like this one is, and it's quite sparkly. And since I'm a crow, I like anything that sparkles, and this definitely does. But what it does is very important. It actually clears out your centers that are blocked. So if you have blocks in your chakras somewhere, which we all do, this stone can really push through that very quickly. And it doesn't have to be a very big stone. You see the one I'm wearing, it's very small. We are going to be getting those imported, and we'll be offering them for sale to people, and we'll try to match your energy up with these stones. Mm-hmm. How I found out about it is through an expert in the geometry of spirituality, and he does a lot of Gaia types seminars. I'd like to have him on the show. He's a brilliant man.
Good idea.
But I heard him talking about this stone. I was like, how come we have never heard of this? Mm-hmm. And he went on and on about it, how powerful it was, how it was the most powerful stone. And so I thought, we have to introduce our audience to this. So we're also going to be
excited about it. That's why I had to ask it.
I'm so glad you reminded me. Yes. And we're going to be having some other offers for you on our website. Right now, we have, of course, the energy machine. We have the laser watch. We have vitamins, liposomal vitamins that you can get all at a discount. We don't sell these things outright, but what we do is we try to make arrangements for you to get a discount when you buy it from our website. There is also a new biomat. I highly recommend looking into this. I will have a link on our site that will also give you a 10% discount. I swear by this thing. It has all kinds of stones in it, and you generate heat. You plug it in, and you get infrared heat through these stones. It also has pulse electromagnetic frequency, and it also has red light therapy. It has everything in this one mat. I turn it on at night. I set it at 110 degrees. I sleep on it all night. And when I get up in the morning, I am so toasty warm. And you know we're coming into winter here.
Oh, yes.
And I can never get warm. It's like if I don't have something to warm me up at night, I get out of bed in the morning and I'm frozen all day long. This mat has allowed me to keep my body core temperature high, and it's so relaxing. And oh my God, I just can't say enough good things about it. The only problem is I don't want to get out of bed in the morning because it just has been such a wonderful night's sleep. I just like, why should I get up? This feels tremendous. These things are not inexpensive, but I really feel that they're worth the money. They do have smaller ones if you want a half size mat, much less expensive. But the 10% discount will make a big difference. If you have any questions about it, email me. I'm happy to give you the rundown. But these are very powerful mats, and they offer so many benefits. And that'll be on the website this week. But let's get to
it again, because somebody sent me a note asking for that.
The Healthy Line mat is the name of it. Healthy Line is the
name of your stone.
Well, the name of the stone is phenakite, and that is spelled Phena. It's either Cite or Kite, spelled either way.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for bringing that up. But let's get to our fabulous guest who we love so much. Astrologer Dawn is with us tonight, everybody. She was born in England and now lives in the United States, and was fortunate enough to grow up in a family who understood the metaphysical world. So from a very young age, Dawn was exposed to a wide variety of experiences and lifestyles that allowed her to observe people and tap into her natural intuition. Dawn studied astrology with Julian Lee, Eugene Moore, and many others. She was trained in Natal and Relocation Astrology, advanced tarot, as well as an understanding of the basics of the Venus sequence, human design, and numerology. Dawn is a past president of the American Tarot Association, and she believes that when you follow who you are at your core, which can be seen in your astrological and human design charts, you can customize a life experience that works for you. I could keep reading, but I'm going to bring her on instead. So, Dawn, welcome to the show.
Can I meet her? Can I meet that woman, please? That sounded fascinating.
I know her. She's wonderful.
She's the best.
Oh, hello, ladies. How are you?
We're all good. And it looks like we have two people already waiting to talk to you. So why don't we grab one of them and bring them on, and then we'll get back to interrogating you after.
Sounds good.
I do that to her all the time.
Yeah.
So let's see. We have Justin on line 1. So Chanel, do you want to get him on the live line for us? Hi, Justin. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
It's great to have you here. Do you have a question for Dawn?
Lately in my life, I feel like I have a lot of walls in my life. I don't feel like there's anywhere to go. There's no vantage point I can see from. And I'm just curious as to what you'd recommend I do. What would I do to drop these walls to gain that clarity and insight in my life?
Are you talking about walls that you're putting up to other people, or walls that you feel are in the way of you evolving?
I think it's actually both.
Interesting.
Interestingly enough. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, you're going to have to decide to get out of your head and stop listening to the itty bitty shitty committee, which are the voices in your head that second guess you all the time. You've got intuition, which is in your body, and you need to listen to that automatically because it will send you in a direction. It may not take you exactly where you think it's going to take you, but it does take you somewhere different. Then there's an opportunity in that. So, you're going to have to trust that if you want to break down walls, you're going to have to learn to be more vulnerable. And you're also going to have to look at where they come from, because all that stuff is conditioning. We come into this world, we know exactly who we are. We're these bundles of joy. And then we meet these parental units and they start to decide for us what we're going to do. We're going to learn the piano. We're going to have to play Little League. Just as we're getting comfortable with this, we get sent on a bus with no seatbelts to spend the next 12 years with the same 30 people from the same socioeconomic background, memorizing and regurgitating information, most of which we won't use. Then we move from that prison to the other prison, and we come out of it and we're like, we don't know who we are. So you're going through the early stages of trying to figure out who you are and what you want out of life. And a lot of that is going to come from really listening to your intuition, not pushing it away, because there seems to be a little bit of resistance is what I'm looking at. So what are you passionate about?
I don't know. That's something I'm trying to figure out.
Passion is not something you have to figure out. Passion is something that's within your soul. And it does, because what happens with the IBS committee is you have a passion for something and those little voices go, yeah, but you can't do that. You can't make any money at it. Or who's going to pay you for that? Or how are you going to do that? Or where are you going to get the education? And it may be really tiny, but you have a passion for something.
That's fair. People
Okay.
is my passion.
Perfect place to start. So does that mean helping people psychologically, emotionally, physically? Now you can get more clarity about it. It does look like you're going to do that, but you do have some resistance in your body about this, about And it's those voices that are saying, well, so what? I like people. I'm good with people. I have no idea what I would do. What does that mean? You don't have to know what that means. You just have to take the baby steps. Next step, next step, next step. So start writing some notes about people. What do you like about people? Do you like talking to them on the phone? Do you like meeting them in person? Do you like going to meetings on Zoom? Do you like to be in charge of people? Do you want to be a worker? Do you want your own business? Those are all of the questions you can ask yourself, and just start writing notes about it, because we're coming into this new era. Pluto, which is the planet of really digging into ourselves, is starting to go through Aquarius. It started today. You're going to get all kinds of surprising and unexpected ideas that you just need to write down. Eventually, that picture will take shape of what it is you want to give your time and your energy to, and what your secret source is. Because that's what you got to get clear on. What is your secret source? You are going to do that. Is stop, start, stop, start. Be patient.
Good.
Hope that helped. Did that help?
Yeah, that's helpful. That's very insightful. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next.
Okay. Thank you for calling, Bill. I mean, Justin. I forget the next name. Justin, thank you so much.
Can we hear? Are you there, Bill?
Oh, am I on the air?
You're live on the air.
Is it Bill Wilson?
Oh, good evening, ladies.
AA, who's dead. He's coming through, from up there somewhere. Maybe not.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, we have Bill on.
He should.
Bill, do you
Hi,
have a...
ladies. How are you?
Can you hear us, Bill?
Yes.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm doing great. How are you?
We are all great. Do you have a question for Dawn?
I do, Dawn. Well, boy, I think I'm calling from a place of uncertainty and maybe some residual family resentment, kind of like the last caller might have. I think I need some, spiritual clarity about being uninvited from Thanksgiving this year.
Oh.
Is that a new experience for you?
I would say so. I mean, it started with political views, or at least I think it did, because I made some comments about some things last year at Thanksgiving, and my cousin said I was kind of acting like my sun sign was full of hot air, but then I remembered I might have created a different kind of problem.
Well, if you remember growing up, politics, religion, and sex were not talked about at the dinner table. I grew up in England, and those things were not talked about. Grew up in a very conservative family, libertarian now, but some of my families what would be Republican in this country, and some are Democrat. And we're moving into a different era. This is the confusing thing for most of us. With this Pluto energy, we're going to have unexpected consequences, whether we like them, approve of them. That piece is not relevant. It's like, what is the reason you've been uninvited? What have you been told that you've been uninvited for?
I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, because we haven't had an issue up until I'd say maybe 2 years ago, because I was at my uncle's son-in-law's house for Thanksgiving, and after dinner I could say, I guess I had, how do I describe it? Sort of like a Jupiter and Scorpio kind of moment in the bathroom. And let's just say the turkey wasn't the only thing stuffed that night, and I think everyone blamed me.
Yeah, well, it's easy to be the scapegoat. We're going into this era of finding our tribes. So it doesn't matter what you believe, but you're not going to like the fact that some of the people who are going to be in your tribe are not people from your family. They're just not.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of are my tribe, but the thing is, I thought it was just a minor clog, but apparently I unleashed a cosmic level plumbing catastrophe, and they had to call a plumber on Thanksgiving.
Wow.
He said it was the worst backup he's seen since Mercury last retrograded in Cancer.
Well, this is unfortunately, or fortunately actually, about finding a new tribe and having acceptance. We're going to have to do lots of acceptance in the upcoming few years about where we are individually, as well as where other people are individually. And those that we have the most in common with are what we're going to gravitate towards. And even if they're not in our biological family, you know, you're going to be on the outs with some of them and you're going to be fine with others. That's what I can see here. And it's like, and it's okay, because it's, you know, if there's something that's not working, it's just not a match, you know, and it's, we're born into the families.
The only thing I'd say that wasn't working was their plumbing. And
yeah, that sounds too simple. That sounds way too simple. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's way too simple. No, there's something else going on. If you've been uninvited and it's only very recently, I mean, I really don't have to point out the obvious, but it's political. And it's like, okay, that's fine. You know, I had a
my
client.
uncle told me it wasn't a political issue. He said it was a plumbing issue. And now they're even using my voting records against me.
Yeah, well, it isn't a plumbing issue. Mm. And so you're going to have to make some acceptance around that it is that. And there's some differences that right now cannot be solved right now. That doesn't mean ever. That just means right now. You're going to have to
try to make amends by, I don't know, bringing in my own plunger or something?
No.
Okay. No. All right. Good evening, ladies.
No. Okay.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
You know, I think that is a difficult thing in this country. Remember, we're going through a Pluto return. It happens every 248 years. The last time Pluto was in, it's not in Capricorn as of today, it's in Aquarius, but for the last 20 years, it's been in Capricorn, was in 1776. Well, anybody who lives here knows that's when this country is considered founded. Right. And so that means that what was happening then will repeat itself astrologically, but it won't look the same. You won't see people running around with muskets because we don't live in that era anymore. But you see people on the internet posting different things. Mm-hmm. We're bombarded with information now. We're back in 1776. We're really bombarded with information, but it was about setting the country up. Capricorn is all about structures and hierarchy and patriarchy and following the rules and traditions and institutions, and it's very solid. And we're coming out of that to where we've all noticed disparities and inequalities. How come the CEO of a company is being paid $63 million a year, but is arguing that he can't pay his employees $20 an hour? Like, we're just noticing it. That's all we're supposed to be doing, is noticing and then deciding for ourselves individually, how does that fit? So if I had a multi-million-dollar business, I might go, yeah, well, that's what happens, and I'm fine with that. Right. However, if I'm one of the workers, I'm going to be like, excuse me, you know, it's all that kind of stuff. So this is the awareness that we've come away from with all the Capricorn stuff. And we're going into a new era of healthcare and technology. And the metaphysical is going to be the largest growing segment of what people do over the next 15 years. We're going to be the largest segment, you know, so embrace it, ladies. Because people will be coming to you to chat, you know. So
we've got Sherry waiting for us on line 1.
Hello, Sherry.
Hello, ladies. How are you all doing?
Great. Good. What's your question?
Well, I wanted to see, where do you see me headed in the near future?
Thanksgiving table? No? Is that too easy? Is that one too easy? Was that too easy? Well, it It looks like you are forgiving yourself for some judgment that you've made in the past that you may have been beating yourself up about. But you're moving away from that. You've had a bit, I don't know if it's a big shock that you've had recently, or big move, or big change. It could have something to do with work. It could have something to do with work. It could also have something to do with home life. But a big shock.
Yeah, I did. I just moved.
Oh, yeah. And you're still sort of disorganized in a way, which is fine. You know, things take time. And it might not be disorganized. It might be more, you know, you're really not sure of the route to this place, or I forgot the doctor's was in this direction. And so it's more of that kind of stuff, like acclimating yourself.
Yeah.
Were you married and got divorced?
Yes, I've been married twice, divorced twice.
Okay. Don't get married again. It's of no benefit to you. And it just takes a lot of paperwork, a lot of time, a lot of energy. When it doesn't mean you're not going to have a significant other. No marriage.
Yeah, I've been wondering about that. Like, when is that going to happen? Because I've been having a terrible luck at love.
Well, then you're going to have to look at that kind of stuff. I mean, one of the things I do in my readings that first time is take a look at, well, what's going on? Is your Venus retrograde? Do we have things that are going on in the sky right now? What was your conditioning around love? What were the lessons that you were taught that actually don't fit in with who you are? Where does love show up in your human design chart? So you can look more in depth, because really you really are this phoenix coming out of the ashes, but you need to know who you are and what you want and be clear about that. Do you have a written list of what you're looking for in terms of a relationship?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's written. Is it on the
Oh, it's not written, no, but I probably need to write that down.
Yes, that's how we communicate with the universe, is writing. You can think all you like.
Absolutely.
You can think all you like, but we think about way too many things, and the universe doesn't know. It's like a menu. You know, if you go into a restaurant, you don't just say to the waitress, "Feed me," because the waitress is going to say, "What would you like to eat?" Well, we got to tell the universe what we would like. Otherwise, we have no chance of getting it. You know, we have no chance. So you're going to have to get clear with, what do you want your life to look like as you move forward? Because you're like I said, you're in a bit of a turmoil right now. It's not going to, the answer to that is not going to come very quickly. It's like, it's okay. You know, it's okay. But getting things written down is going to be really important for you. Yeah. And then continuing to look at, what is your secret sauce? What is it that you have to offer? And who are the people that you need to be around? That will come out more the clearer you get about what you want your next step to be, whether it's work or whether it's home. What does that look like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Start a new job and everything. Yeah.
Great.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, you've got a lot going on. The biggest changes have happened. So the divorce and also the move. If things are settling down, they're just not quite settled yet. They're not settled yet. But they will.
Yeah.
They will.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sherry, for calling in.
Great night.
You too. And we have Laura on line 2.
Hey, Patricia. Hi, PK. Hi, Dawn. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome. What's your question?
My question is, I do not want to live the rest of my life alone, and I want to know, do you have any indication of where I should look?
Well, do you know exactly what it is you're looking for?
Oh, do I ever? And yes, I do have a very extensive list.
And it's in writing, and assuming it's in writing.
It is written down. Yes, it is.
One of the things for you to do is to make sure you're involved with something that you really enjoy. So if it's something like line dancing, go to do that. It doesn't matter what it is so much, because you're going to meet either somebody at that place, or you're going to meet a woman who's got a brother, that kind of thing. But you need to make sure you're involved in several different hobbies.
Okay.
That's going to actually
I will do that.
Yeah, that's the best thing for you. I mean, that's an easy answer there. So off you go and decide which hobbies that you want to get involved with.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, that's an easy one. Yeah. Do something you love and then you'll fall in love.
Yeah, you just don't know if you're doing something you love, you are usually really kind of oblivious to other things that are going on because you're involved in whatever it is. And that's when it's more likely that someone's going to come along because you're not really focused on looking for somebody. It's like, you know what you want and now let it go. Put it on the list, on the freezer, on the fridge, and then just let it go.
There's a few people that have written texted questions. So let me see if I can bring those up. Let's see. This one is...
I don't ask. You know why I don't answer lottery questions? Because when I started working on a psychic line, and everybody used to ask the same thing about lottery numbers. And finally, I got so fed up with it. I said, they'd say, do you have the lottery numbers? And I'd usually just make up numbers and give it out to people. And then I got fed up with that. And so then I went, do you really think I'd be sitting here talking to you on the phone if I knew how to win the lottery?
Yeah, really good point.
For God's sake. So I do not take... I don't know anything about winning money. Sorry, I'm not a psychic line. That was 30 years ago that I started on a psychic line, and I lasted 4 months before I started my own business and said, wait a minute, this is not what I want to do. This is not going to work. Need to do something deeper and something that is going to change your life. And winning the lottery doesn't always change your life in the way that you think it's going.
Never does, I don't think.
No, it's like, I just watched a really good documentary, a British documentary on boy bands from the 90s. And they went through different boy bands that were famous in England, Europe, and Asia, because that's usually the direction that boy bands go. And what they had to do to sort of keep up with everything and how it was all manufactured. And, the people at the top made all the money. It was just fascinating to watch that kind of stuff. Like that it's not really real, but they're having a real experience. And for them, it's like they said it was unbelievable, the guys. They never had this kind of experience. You don't know what it's like until you got women screaming at you 24 hours a day, trying to break, so it was that kind of stuff.
We have somebody who texted in, and he says he's not looking for lottery numbers, but he wants to know is if it's possible for him to get married again.
Well, that's not.
His name is Joe Fox.
Okie dokie. He's going to have to work on himself. So, yes, he could, but he's going to have to work on himself, and there's some resistance in there. So, if he takes the bull by the horns and takes a look at what he needs to change, does the work on himself, yes. It could be a new beginning, a new relationship.
It always boils down to that, doesn't it? You have to look to yourself to see what you're blocking, how you're preventing a relationship, especially a committed relationship, to happen in your life.
Yeah. And timing is very difficult in terms of the universe versus humans. We designed the clock. We designed the calendar. We decided all of that. But the universe doesn't go along with that. It doesn't care about our clocks, our days, our seasons. It could care less. I mean, I've had something that I've known about, and then it'll be like 3 years later, I'll be in Target and I'll have this revelation of what the thing was that I heard 3 years ago. Also, I went to see a property with somebody once and I couldn't stop looking at the next road. And she said, no, it's on this road. And I went, nah, I'm not even coming to look at the house. There's no point. You're buying a house on the road above. And the realtor said, well, there aren't any houses on the road above. I said, just wait. And the next day, a house came on the market and that's the one she bought. So it's like, it can be anywhere and it can be instant. That instant gut feeling that a lot of women have when we're around those creepy guys that have got red flags, We have great instincts for that, women do. We have to listen to it. You don't have to be rude. You can thank them very much for the martini and move away.
That's right.
You're meeting your girlfriends.
Yeah, drink it fast.
Yeah. your husband, your living boyfriend isn't there tonight, and you're out with the girls, even if you don't live with somebody. And it's like you get older and wiser around that stuff. But you've also got to have clarity about what you want if you do want that.
You do have to have clarity. Yes. We have another person, Pankaj Nagpal, and he is saying you are doing a great job. God bless you.
Thank you.
Also, he says he wants to know, when will he get married?
Sorry, no answer to that. I do not have his date of birth, place of birth, time of birth.
Right. So
I don't even know if he's involved with anybody. I don't know where he's at in his soul journey. It might not be now. I'd have to look at the energies in a chart. So again, this is a timing thing. Mm-hmm. I've already seen that there is the possibility of somebody, but it requires work on himself first. Okay. And I don't know, I have no idea what that is.
So, Pankaj, if you would like, you can contact Dawn directly at astrologerdawn.com. That is her website. And you can set up a time to speak with her privately about this, involving your chart, your birth date, all of those good things, to find out when the best timing would be for this. So that would be a good thing to find out.
Yes, very important.
Yes.
Because it is all individual. I do not do pre-printed reports. It is all based on who the person is in front of me in terms of their charts. Because that's what I'm always looking at, is like, well, what's going on in their charts? Are there things that can hold them back? Are there things that can help them move forward? So,
Yes, there's a lot of factors to consider.
Yeah. Well, I'm always looking at, what are you here to do in this lifetime? Some of that comes from your North Node. Where we put our energy is our Mars. I want to look at your 10th house to see which is your career, to see a good place to put your time and energy. And then I want to look at your moon to see how are you emotionally attached to that kind of work. So when you look at my chart, my moon is in Aquarius, which rules astrology. I've got things in my chart that indicate I do really well working with people and doing deep dive things in a very metaphysical way. Well, hello. It's like, it's not difficult when you know this stuff to sort of look at. And how can I stay so about it? I don't get emotionally attached to it. Well, my moon is in an air sign. My moon's in Aquarius, so we don't usually get attached to that stuff. I tell my clients, I'm sorry, but you're not a match with your boyfriend. You go ahead if you want to, but you'll be coming back to me to let me know that you're getting divorced. They don't like that.
Right.
They don't like that, but it happens.
Yeah. Now, Pankaj also said he lost his mother recently, and he's in depression. Mm-hmm. So, Pankaj, I think it would be wise for you to seek out Dawn and have a session with her, and she can point you in the right direction. Mm-hmm. You can then figure out what your path is. At this point, it sounds like it's been rather difficult, and we want to see you recover from this. So, astrologerdawn.com.
And grief is real, and we all go through it in different ways at different times, depending upon so many issues. The griefs that PK would have gone through losing her husband at a young age is very different than the grief I felt when my dad passed when I was 27, and in my first few years of recovery from an addiction. It's like, and it comes and goes, and we look back, and sometimes it's like, wow, that was a learning experience. We don't necessarily have that grief that we had when things first happened, but we go in these waves of processing stuff. And if we can help other people by sharing information about grief and how we ourselves handled it, it certainly gives other people hope. Because everybody goes through it.
People often forget that there are grief groups that they can join. And it's a wonderful support system for people going through a major loss. So, and Kaj, maybe you could find a grief group in your area, maybe connected with some religious organization or a non-religious one, maybe a social work organization.
Absolutely.
That can hold your hand through this, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
So give that a look and see if that's for you also.
The other thing is, and I just pulled a card on this, it's the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups, the guy is turning away from the cups and walking away, but what he's not recognizing. So this is sort of like the cup half empty instead of the half full. It's like, but there's a lot of work you've done behind you. And this applies to all of us, your grief is not going to last. It's not going to overwhelm your life. And again, this is more for everybody. Whatever it is you're grieving right now, you're going to be okay as you move forward, because you've learned a lot of emotional lessons and you can take them with you as you move forward. So that's a sort of a big thing. And it doesn't matter what the grief is. Nobody gets to decide for somebody else what grief is and what it's about,
Exactly.
So,
okay. Well, he just wrote back, thank you. So
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those things are difficult. Well, we've had so many changes over the last couple of weeks with politics and everything else. And a big wave of red overtook the country. And now here we are looking at massive changes coming up through that and through other things. One of the things I want to ask you about, Dawn, is the topic of UFOs. We brought that up before. And we see that people are still waiting for something to be divulged. It's not really happening.
It will be. It will be.
Will be something you think coming from
definitely in the next 20 years because of the Aquarius energy, Pluto and Aquarius energy. So people are going to be more interested. And certainly after that, when we go into the Pisces era, because that is, to do with spirituality. That's always to do with other planets and whether they're inhabited and by what. And, it's sort of joining all of that together. But we're in the process of figuring out, or the powers that be are trying to figure out how to present things in a way that we humans don't get freaked out about. Really,
well,
that's sort of
honestly, I don't think that people would. The people that I've heard talking about this, it's very interesting. They're saying, look, I really don't care. So what if there are aliens in the ocean? Are they going to pay my mortgage?
No.
Are they going to pay for my groceries?
No.
Because if not, I really don't care.
Yeah.
That they're in the oceans. We've had lights in the sky for thousands of years. And now you're telling me, they come out of the ocean. So what?
Yeah.
Well,
there are going to be people who are more interested in that, especially people who have a lot of money and time and energy.
I think there will be, but it just is an interesting thing to hear from people.
Yeah.
Because the government's been very big on, we don't want to scare people. I think that's nonsense. Yeah. It's not that they don't want to scare people. It's that they want to maintain control over all of it.
They don't want to give answers.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want to give the answers because then we'll be in on it. But it is interesting that
it's breaking down of structures.
They're not.
This is part of the breaking down of structures between organization and the everyday person. Mm-hmm. Everyday person is like, just tell me. I don't care one way or the other. Like you said, does it pay my mortgage? Oh, there's a sea creature that's an alien. Great. When you figured out how that can help me pay my mortgage, you let me know. Exactly. Otherwise, lock it up in a cage, do whatever, experiment. I don't know. Like, we don't focus on aliens in our everyday life. The majority of us don't.
Yeah.
That's right. But there will be more interest in it. There will be more, is somebody keeping secrets? But it's more likely we'll be exposed to it more. Mm-hmm. And really, because the logic of Aquarius is they don't care. It'll still be, oh, really? That's what happened? Oh, that's nice.
Makes it easier.
Yeah. But it won't be as big a deal as maybe it would have been, 40 years ago.
Right. It's different climate.
And there's other things that we're going to be focused on. in the next 20 years with Pluto in Aquarius. I mean, it's about freedom, equality, humanity. How do we come together to find common, whatever it is to do with healing? There's different groups. It's which group do you fit into? Which group do you want to create? Who's in your group? And how are you going to, help humanity? Because that is part of the direction. With healthcare becoming, we're going to have cures for things over the next 20 years that we never thought we would. AI is going to be enormous, of course. I don't know where or how this would happen in the US, but, in the EU, they don't have borders anymore. EU countries don't. They just walk across because they're all in the EU. So what do you need a border for? And so, that's probably going to happen all around the world because of what's happening with climate change. That shows up in astrology as well, that is moving people, whether it's moving people from Bangladesh to, the countryside of India. So there's all this movement that's going on. And we're not going to be able to stop that or change it because it's going to be for reasons that we can't, it's going to be very difficult for people to say, you can't come here. Oh, what do you mean you have no food and you have no water and it's just desert and you can't even grow anything? Too bad. We're not in that era. We're just not. And I'm not talking about, this has nothing to do with illegal immigrants coming into America. It doesn't have anything to do with it. It's not to do with any political thing. It's just the way it's going to be as the climate shifts. There'll be more people moving from Florida north and west because it's going to be eroded. They don't have systems in place because now we are, if you look at some of the Florida condos, they are way overdue with being fixed. Many, many years ago, they ought to have been fixed. Well, we're now in this era with Pluto and Aquarius. So some of them are going to fall down. We've already seen that. There's not going to be enough. The surprise is going to be, there's not enough insurance to cover this. So there's going to be we're going to get a lot of knowledge about things that are important to us. Like, I don't care what condo fees or problems are in Florida. I don't live in Florida, don't have any family in Florida, don't know anything about it, except it's humid and lots of bugs. Humid and lots of bugs, that's what I remember from going there. But for people, there are people that, that's what's important to them. So we're going to be more focused on what is really important to us individually so that we can find our people that are interested in the same thing. And then we're going to create movements to make changes. Revolution. Because the last time it was Marie Antoinette telling the French when there was a revolution, let them eat cake. How stupid of her. They were protesting against the cost of flour. Didn't she even realize that cakes were made of flour as well? No, not really. Industrial revolution, the Irish uprising. We're going through that period, but revolution is going to look different. It'll be interesting to watch.
Dawn, what do you see for the United States with this coming year? The way things have been so unsettled and arguments with people about everything to deal with politics. Forgetting the political element, what do you foresee with the overall day-to-day for America?
Well, there's going to be more of a split, actually. It's actually okay because it's temporary because of the Pluto in Aquarius. There's going to be more revolution, but it's not going to be physical. It's going to be online. It's going to be, there's going to be people that are going to go to their own corners. If you watched the fight the other night with Mike Tyson, I did. What a disappointment. The women fought better. And the women fought better. The female fight before it was so much more exciting. We're coming, remember, 2000 to 3000, it's all about women. But there's still going to be the divide and more revolution. But it's going to be people, people are going to be speaking up more and saying, believe whatever it is you want to believe. However, I'm not interested in being involved with you because of that. So that is going to continue for a while. That's gonna take about 10 years to move through that until we're in the middle of this whole shift and change. So it's going to be interesting. And young men need to create their own businesses. Stop waiting around for somebody to do something for you. Decide what you're passionate about. I don't care if it's cleaning windows, working on a building site. Find a way to do it, because that is a major problem with young men. They don't have purpose. Okay. They don't know their place. So they're going to have to go through all of this. They don't know their place. Women don't necessarily need the traditional man anymore. So they're like, okay, so you don't need me for that. What do you need me for? And, where do I fit into this world? So men are going to go through a huge change over the next 20 years of discovering what they're here to do and what their value is, because women have already started, after many years of oppression, to already recognize their value. So it's not that it's a competition, but the guys are down here when it comes to figuring out their value. We're up here because we talk about it with each other. We talk about it. Mm-hmm. Women talk to each other. Men are going to have to learn to do that a lot more. That will come out a little bit more as we move through this cycle.
That's good, because I see a lot of young men, it's like slip and slide. They just can't get their footing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they're also looking for somebody to solve it for them. That's part of the problem. And they need to solve it for themselves. They need to just take a look at, well, where do my interests lie? And it might be, well, I've always liked doing Legos. I've always liked building things in the back garden. Well, maybe it's architecture. Maybe it's construction. Follow. Mm-hmm. See where that leads you. Maybe you're going to be a landscape gardener. Don't know. But follow that passion that you have inside. And sometimes we have to look back to when we were little to take a look and see what were the things that we really enjoyed. What did we feel most at ease? When were we the most comfortable? When we were the happiest? What were we doing? How were we interacting? Who was around us? We can create that in our personal and professional lives if we get clear. Yeah. We've got to get clear.
There's a fun exercise that people can do. They get a piece of paper, write down 20 things they like to do, and then go down the same list and write how they could make money doing each of those things.
Yeah.
And people have formed some pretty successful businesses just doing that one exercise.
Yeah. I mean, I had people say to me at the beginning, how are you going to pay the mortgage? By reading tarot cards. I said, I have no idea. Within a year, I was training to be a coach, which I didn't even know there was only 400 of us in this country at the time, right. So I'm a coach that's been around for a very long time. Now my business is 29 years. So I've been a coach for about 25, 26. And then I've had my business doing this and it's expanded. I mean, I get lots of referrals. I do speaking engagements on human design and videos and, who knew? And then when my husband got laid off and my business was part-time back in a long time ago, Max would have been 2, Zachary would have been 6. I said, great. And he goes, why great? And I go, because I'm going to take my business full-time. I'll become the breadwinner. Who ever heard of a metaphysical business being the breadwinner?
Right.
I figured it out. I mean, I figured it out. And then, it's what you do. And so young men are going through that now.
Yes, they are. No, absolutely. Well, I just want to mention again for people, because we got to wrap, to get a hold of you.
Yes.
At astrologerdawn.com.
Yep.
And you can set up your own time and personal reading with Dawn. And it's great to do those because you get personal attention, you get your own chart reviewed, and it just makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So give the gift to yourself and contact astrologerdawn.com. So thank you, Miss Dawn. This has been great.
Thank you, ladies, very much. I hope you have a fabulous Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
And a Merry Christmas and or Hanukkah or any other kind of holiday that you celebrate around that time of the year.
Okay, I can wrap.
And maybe see you in 2025.
I hope that you come back.
Without a doubt.
And we'll be back next week, everybody. Ancient manifestation techniques. Don't miss it. Until then, we'll see you on the Blue Highway. Good night.
Good night.
Namaste.